Hi, good afternoon, Sunita ma'am. How are you?
I'm great. Good afternoon. How about you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. And I'm really happy to see you here. So, as we are meeting for the first time, would you mind telling me something about yourself?
Sure, I would love to. I would love to give my introduction here. My name is Sunita Rawat, as you already know, and I come from a picturesque region of Chamoli, Gadwal. It's in Uttarakhand, and I am a mother to two kids. Additionally, I run a YouTube channel named Sunita's English Adventure, wherein I post conversational videos with co-learners. I am fond of interacting in English, and my another hobby is to teach people. So for that, I teach learners in spoken English, like the beginner level I teach. So that's a bit about me.
Oh, that's great to hear about you. Okay. So, how's the weather in Uttarakhand now? Is it cold?
Not that cold, but days and nights are quite cold as compared to the afternoons.
Yeah, exactly. Here also, weather is changing.
Hmm.
From the last 2 days, we are able to feel
Hmm.
that cold now.
Right, right.
Okay.
Winter is setting in.
Exactly. So tell me
Hmm.
something more about yourself. Like, what do you like to do whenever you get free time?
Hmm. So these days, whenever I get some free time, I try to utilize my time in learning something in English. So I just spend my time watching something or whatever mood I am in. I'm a kind of mood driven lady. My mood dictates my action. So if I'm in a mood of watching something, I try to just go to Netflix and search for movies. And if not, then I sometimes try reading, but reading is not my cup of tea, I've realized over time. But I try. I still try because I've been hearing this from a lot of people that reading really helps improving your communication skills. So that is what I do in my free time.
Yeah, you are absolutely right. But nowadays, I feel like reading is dead somewhat. It's very difficult for people to read. They are ready to watch
Hmm.
content, they can listen to content.
Hmm.
But when it comes to reading, I see only few people nowadays who are very
Hmm.
much interested in reading. Otherwise, most of the people, of course, on social media, they are active, so they don't get time to read books and
Right,
everything.
right. That could be
Yeah,
because of the distractions also. Like we have many
right.
content available on internet, then we prefer watching rather than reading. Reading is kind of a monotonous task. So we can say that. So there are a lot of distractions. So that is why I always end up keeping the book aside and watching something.
Yeah, of course, even though for me also it's same, it's very difficult for me to read something. But of course, books are very good if you don't
Hmm.
want to be distracted, if you want to
Right.
like learn something, and if you want to read for a long time. Because what
Hmm.
happens on YouTube or whatever the social media platform we use, that sometimes we watch that content and then we will get distraction and we will start watching something which is not very
Hmm.
helpful for us. Any news
Right.
nowadays, what is
Hmm.
happening with me, all the time whenever I go on YouTube, I see some like shocking news and I start
Hmm.
watching it, and I
Hmm.
will go very deep into it, that why it happened and what is happening there. And it takes my lot of time, even though I go there on YouTube to watch some English content, maybe English
Hmm.
grammar related things, but when I watch some news, then I feel like it's better to listen to it, so it's a waste of
Hmm.
time and it's not
Right.
good, I feel. Yeah,
Right, right, right. So our focus is not completely on what we want to do, but while reading, the focus would be definitely on that. So that's a better thing to do. We cannot deny this fact. But yes, I'm really working upon this. I want to be a good reader. So let's see when I would be able to become that.
okay, I got it.
And I've
So
also
now
noticed one more thing that when we
Mhm.
watch videos on loop continuously, like people tend to do this. They'll watch one video, then another, then so on and so forth. But at the end, like when you just stop watching that video, you'll realize that you've got nothing. You've watched 5 videos in a loop, but what have you learned from that? You were not actively learning anything. You're just watching, and it was all bounced back over your head. Does it happen with
Exactly,
you?
it happens. Yes, it happens. That's what I'm telling you, that we go on a
Hmm.
one video, but we watch something which we don't want to. We'll watch 4 or 5 videos and we're not
Hmm.
watching it attentively. That's what you are right. Watching videos attentively can be very good for you. If you are
Hmm.
having a notebook in your hand and the pen and paper, and then if you're watching a video, that is going to be very good. And you should watch it like, consciously, whatever you're
Hmm.
watching. and you should
Right.
change the video. If you feel like
Hmm.
next video is not helpful for you, which you are getting
Hmm.
in that recommendation, better to search the topic on YouTube and then watch another video. But what
Right.
happens, like, we watch, as you said, like, 4 and 5 videos, but then later we think like, oh, I wanted to watch something else, but I end up watching something else. So that's what happens. That's
Right.
what the
It's the
social
human
media is.
nature.
And all these
Hmm.
things are flow, not a stock.
Hmm.
So it is a flow. And then of course it's very difficult for us to control ourselves in that. So we always go
Right.
in flow. So
Right, right. That is why it is difficult to focus these days. Our attention span is very less. But still, I have this another practice that I've been following for long. That I have another Instagram account, other than my personal. That I've made another Instagram account that is particularly dedicated to English learning. So I have followed two to three creators on that, English creators, and then in reels I get only English related recommendations. So after every reel, with every reel, I get to learn some or the other thing, like in short span of time, 60 seconds, right? So I'm finding this really helpful.
yeah, it is. Even though I have more than 2 or 3 Instagram pages with a different
Hmm.
things, one for photography, one for friends and family, and one for English. But to be honest, actually, I find it very addictive. Actually,
Hmm.
with Instagram. So nowadays, I have uninstalled it, and I do it often. I use it
Hmm.
for 1 month or maybe 2 months. Then I feel like, oh man, I'm getting very
Hmm.
much into it. Then I uninstall it for some time. That's what it
Hmm.
happens. But yes, you're right. It like, the algorithm works in that way. Whatever you watch,
Right.
you get the same
Hmm.
kind of content. And if you follow only those people who are working for English, for sure you're
Right.
going to get English content
Mm.
only.
And that kind of addiction would benefit you if you're addicted to those kind of reels, right?
Yes, of
That
course
would
it does.
benefit.
Okay, so coming on with another question, that I'm curious to know, that how do you spend your day? What kind of activities do you do throughout the day?
Hmm. So I'm a homemaker. So most of my day went in all those household chores, managing family, managing kids. Like my day starts with kids, starts with kitchen, then sending them off to school. And after sending them off to school, at from 10 o'clock, 10 to 12,
Mhm.
I try to do something productive. It could be my classes. I take spoken English classes for beginners, so a 1 hour class for them. And then I try to make a conversation for YouTube video, or if not, then I try to make a solo content. So this 10 to 12 is my time. And then 12 again, I head to kitchen for preparing lunch. Then my kids come back from school. So I'm totally with them. I spend some quality time, right? I take a siesta in the afternoon, and then at night around 9 to 10 I take one more class and then go to sleep. So that's how my day looks like.
Okay. And how do you feel at the end of the day? Do you feel like your days are really productive, or sometimes do you feel like they are not productive that much like you want to?
I have been in this continuous practice of immersing myself into English for around 2 to 3 months now. So each and every day passing through have been productive for me, and I am totally content about it. That my there is not even a single day in my past that went just like that, idling away. So all the days has been productive, and I'm totally thrilled, totally, content about it. This journey has been miraculous for me. I'm not even realizing that I'm learning something, because this is a kind of passion, a kind of curiosity it has developed, right? When we move on through the journey, we become even more curious to learn new things. So this journey has been really miraculous for me.
Exactly, of course, I can understand it happens. Okay, so that's very good to hear. That it means you are a very good time manager. You are able to manage everything on time, and you feel like your days are really productive. That's a
Hmm.
positive thing, and it should be like that. Okay, so another question goes to you, like, why spoken English? Like, what fascinates you about this spoken English?
English is something that always fascinated me since my childhood. So earlier, I was having this as a subject. I was reading this as a subject to score good marks in school. But recently, I've realized the importance of spoken English, because back in school days, we were not that focused on spoken English,
Mhm.
and neither any of our relatives or our parents have ever told us the importance of spoken English. They never pushed us, right? That you should speak in English and all that. So recently, I've realized the importance, and I had this thought in mind from always that I want to do something on my own, but I was not able to do because of the responsibilities. But out of the blue, one day I thought that now I will pursue my career in spoken English training. Right. So since then, I've started working upon myself, and I believe that I already had few qualities in me that I can become a good trainer other than language part, like the empathy, the way of explaining things, right? Adaptability, modulation, that there are many things I'm not able to recall, but I feel that I have that in me other than language. I need to develop language. So I'm working upon that.
Okay, that's great to hear. So, like, as you said, like you were always fascinated towards spoken English. So, did you have that environment in your place where you used to speak English with others, or you started recently?
Never, never in my past I had that environment. And I was a kind of person who was very timid, very reserved. Very rarely I used to utter a word to someone. Like I was called a silencer in my school. You can understand that, right? So very rarely I used to speak, not even in Hindi. So that kind of personality I was back then. But over time, I have developed this thing. I've become ambivert. Like whenever I see some opportunity for myself, I try to express myself in the best way possible. So I think it this quality I've imbibed during my MBA, because
Mhm.
there we were forced to give presentations. So that way it came into my life.
Oh, then you started. So, how long it has been when you pursued your MBA?
2016, I've completed my MBA in 2016.
Oh, that's great. So, from then onwards, you started interacting a bit, you started presenting yourself.
Interacting in Hindi only, but I was a better speaker than before, because earlier I used to speak not at all, but later on I used to express. I used to put myself in a situation where I have to speak something, right? So I
Mhm.
was deliberately doing it to just develop that social skills. But I've started working upon my skills not a long back, but from 2 months I've started working this English
Oh,
skills.
that's great. And how did you come with an idea of YouTube?
YouTube. I had been on YouTube for a long time now, because earlier than this I
Mhm.
had a vlogging channel.
Okay.
So I ran that channel for around 2.5 years again, and
Mhm.
that was a kind of monotonous task for me after a period of time, because I was
Mhm.
not able to manage. Like every time you cannot hold a camera and then look after your chores and look after your kids. That has become this daunting task for me. So I left that. But again, I was comfortable with YouTube. So one day I stumbled upon one of the YouTubers' video on YouTube. He was practicing his English with one of the co-learners. So I approached him and I had my conversation with him. It went good, and I had this instant realization that I'm missing on something. The confidence that I used to wore earlier, it was no longer there. So I thought I have to work upon my skills, my confidence. And I thought of creating my own channel because I was already comfortable. I love being on YouTube. I love to, feel that kind of attention, right? So it was a easy decision for me. I've created a channel and started working upon it, and it is really growing well.
Okay, so means you were on YouTube, but your niche was different. That was
Mm-hmm.
vlogging channel. But
Vlogging,
then you
right.
shifted from vlogging to English, and you started interacting with the people. That's great to hear. Okay, so now I had a question about your classes. As you said that you conduct classes. So do you conduct online classes or offline classes?
I conduct only online classes because I cannot conduct offline classes here, because I live in a village, and not many people here are aware of the importance of English language, and I tried once of giving offline classes, but not many people turned up. So I went for online classes, and on online classes people are approaching me through my YouTube channel. I'm gaining many learners from there. I have taught around 4 to 5 learners till now, and still I have some current one-to-one sessions going on. So this is
Oh, that's
something that
oh
I can manage with family.
yeah, that's good. Yeah, was my next question was that group classes, or you already told that you conduct one-on-one sessions.
I
So,
tried
do
group
you have any
classes also
experience?
once,
Uh-huh.
but
So, what do you like more, group sessions or one-on-one sessions?
although I like group sessions more, but it happens that in group sessions we cannot, every we cannot keep everyone on the same page. Like every learner is different, they learn with different paces, right? So it is something like they can interact with each other, they can have group discussion, debates, more of speaking, right? That atmosphere they'll get. But at the end of the course, I was feeling guilty that not everyone is on the same page, not everyone is really shining, right? Some of them were lagging behind than others. So that kind of feeling you get. But in one-to-one session, we totally cater to particular learner's need, and we make them learn with their own pace. So that is also one of the good thing. And I'm really liking one-to-one classes, but I am eager to announce my group classes as well. But let's see. I have to overcome from this that feeling first, and then only I'll be able to manage group classes.
Yeah, exactly. Of course, even though I feel the same, the first thing, every learner is on different, of course, level. It's difficult to find only beginners for one group class, or maybe intermediate people for one class. Everyone has a different level. And
Mm-hmm.
second thing, they come from the different cities, so and different work. So maybe it is difficult for them to be available at the same timing, like 7 to 8. Then 10 people at 7 to 8. Maybe it's very difficult to have all those people,
Right,
right?
right,
And
right.
I have experienced that group classes, but I prefer more one-on-one because I
Mm-hmm.
feel, of course, that I'm just doing justice and I'm giving 120% to them, and they are also giving their
Mm.
100%. That's what I feel. But in group classes, some students are very much active. They they just grab opportunity. They speak as much as they can, but some of them are only listening to others. And at the end
Hmm.
of the day, even though I feel like they are paying the same amount, right? So they should
Hmm.
be active and they should be taking part in it. But if they are not well enough, then it's a problem for them.
Right, right. And if they have missed one class, then they've missed completely one chapter, right? So that is also one of
Yes.
the thing. But in one-to-one classes, there is a little flexibility.
Yes, flexibility also is the one of the most important points in this, actually the one-on-one. And even though as you are a homemaker, so sometimes we have guests at home and we
Mm-hmm.
want to cancel. So for the group classes, it's very difficult because 10
Right,
people
right.
are there. And if you're canceling it, it is very difficult for all of them. But one, at least they can understand, and the bond becomes stronger. So they can understand
Mm-hmm.
your problem and you can understand their problem. So that happens. That's why I'm also conducting one-on-one sessions. But I want to experience both. But I did
Mm-hmm.
that, but I felt like it's better for me to do one-on-one.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I have one question for you now.
Yeah.
So you're doing YouTube and one-to-one classes parallelly, like English training. So
Mhm.
what is your
Mhm.
ulterior motive? What is your ulterior career motive? YouTube only or English training?
So the first thing is that YouTube you cannot take as a primary thing and source of
Mm-hmm.
income because it is not certain, and you cannot say like when maybe 1 month it can work really well, or next month you're not going to get anything out of YouTube. Okay, so that is the reality, harsh reality of YouTube that people do not understand. Even though I did not understand when I started, I thought when I would get 1,000 subscribers, I thought I would become a person who would get a lot of money. I would be stable without getting any troubles in the future. But then I realized no, it's not at all the matter. It is all about getting more views and more attention from the people. Then only you are going to get money out of it. So what is my goal? This is the primary thing, like training people. My direct or just main profession is training students as much as I can. And why I'm on YouTube? Because I get the students from there. I have to
Mm-hmm.
be consistent, so students come to me. Okay, but
Right.
YouTube is
Mm-hmm.
something, if I'm getting something out of it, I'm very happy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And but it is my social media identity, somewhat identity, like people have LinkedIn for the corporate world and everything. So this is a
Mm-hmm.
kind of LinkedIn profile for me, profile on
Mm-hmm.
YouTube, that people watch my content and they come to me that, sir, I want to take session from you. So I feel happy about. So but my main thing is that I want to help people with the communication skills. But in future, if YouTube works really well, that I don't have to do this, I would love to invest time on YouTube only. So, but for that time, we have to wait. We cannot say like, when it is going to work or not. So,
Hmm.
so that's why it
Right.
is not very good to be completely dependent on YouTube. So that's
Hmm.
what I
Right.
understood till now.
Okay. So, as you are thinking of your career in this English language training only, so have you thought of getting any certifications or trainings?
Certifications, to be honest, I did not think about it, but in future I can go for this IELTS, okay, because that is also
Hmm.
the important exam. So if I'll sit in that and if I'll get a certificate, that's it. But what I feel, actually, if I will join any institute or any authorized institution, there I need all those things. But if I want to start my own, or if I want to start work in a private sector, I don't really think so that they are going to ask all of these things. It depends, like, what kind of skills do you have, and they can
Right.
understand by you
Hmm.
teaching skills and training skills. And having this strong profile on social media is very helpful nowadays. That is more than a
Hmm.
certificate, what I feel. So because when
Hmm.
people see that you are on YouTube for 3 years and you have 20,000 subscribers, I'm about to touch. So that is going to help me in my career. That's what I feel. But I did not
Hmm.
think about it. And courses are very expensive. I heard from people
Hmm.
like Cambridge or this TOEFL or ESL, like they have to pay 1,20,000, 60, 80,000 rupees. So I did
That's
not
a
think
lot.
about it. Yeah, exactly. Maybe in future, but I'm not
Hmm.
thinking about it. And for actually this IELTS, we have to pay around 16 to 20,000, I think, for that. So that
Hmm.
I can afford in future, but at this moment, I don't have any plan to go for it. I want to
Hmm.
develop my skill as much as I can. That's what the main goal is, not to have papers or all these degrees.
Right, right. You will have skills, you can showcase that on your platform, your channel, and everybody will get attracted to you. Those who
Yeah,
want, right? Those
exactly.
who want
That's
to.
why this social media is very
Naturally, it will
helpful
happen.
for us, for the trainers and for educators,
Hmm.
because they people by watching their just video, they understand that what level you have. And I have seen
Right.
many teachers and trainers, they have a lot of degrees, lot of
Hmm.
courses they have done, but when it comes to their teaching skills and teaching methods, they're
Hmm.
not very up to the mark.
Right, right. I think learners go for those kind of trainers with whom they can resonate, with whom they can feel like understand their language, right?
Who
So they
teaches
only go
on
for.
their level, that is very
Hmm.
important, because some
Right.
teachers and trainers I see, they have a lot of degrees but they teach on a different level.
Hmm.
They, if like they are teaching the students of like 12th standard, but maybe
Hmm.
they are teaching on the level of like UPSC aspirants, so it's very
Hmm.
difficult for them to deal with
Beyond
it.
their
So
understanding. Hmm.
exactly, so that is
Okay.
not recommended at all. Okay,
Hmm.
so yeah, any other question you have?
I have many questions for you, but let us cater to those questions in another session,
Yes, sure, of
right?
course. Okay.
Hmm.
So it was really nice talking to you. Thank you so much. Many,
Same.
many thanks to
Same.
you for joining me today.
Same here, and I love this session. It was really fruitful for us. Okay,
Okay.
then.
Bye bye.
Thank you
Take
so much.
care.
Okay, bye. Take care.